No, but there's some other big news too. Ninja Turtles is coming back to Nickelodeon on Paramount. I think you sent that out earlier, and then
apparently the movie did really well.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's funny.
I haven't seen it.
I did see it. Yeah, I saw it with Jackie Chan, and Jackie Chan is hilarious.
It's just funny the way you said it. Like you said it with, like you saw it with Jackie Chan.
I totally was going to say who's Jackie Chan.
Like I just call him Jackie.
It's me and my buddy Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan's in the Turtle movie.
He's Splinter.
Yeah, he's Splinter in this one.
Oh, cool.
And they're like, it's really funny because they do one of those like kind of moments because like he's like, oh man, you ratted us out, and Jackie Chan goes, hey, don't use that word.
Aren't they making Rush Hour 4?
Oh man, are they? I would love more Jackie Chan movies. I can't get enough of Jackie Chan movies.
Little fun fact: if you in a Mulan, like on Disney Plus, if you change it to Chinese, like
audio
with English subtitles, when they do the "Be a Man" song, that's Jackie Chan.
No, I mean the dude can sing.
Yeah,
the dude
can
sing.
It sounds really good too.
Jackie Chan is one of those dudes who actually he like shouldn't be alive from like some of the.
Oh, you're talking about the stunts that he did? I was like, he's not unhealthy.
No. One of the healthiest dudes. He's going to live to be 150. Like, there's no killing Jackie Chan, especially after what he's done. But like, there's interviews with him, and he's great. He's like, "Oh yeah, I've broken this. I've shattered this. I don't have this anymore." Like that.
The Big Trouble in Little China movies, like where he like, where he did the thing where like he jumped down with all the lights
in the middle of the mall.
Apparently, he got like second-degree burns from that.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And I'm sure that was like one of the
Rumble in the Bronx where he like destroyed his ankle jumping from the bridge to the boat.
And then there's ones where like he's like hanging on the bus, and they're like, "Oh no, that's him."
Yeah.
And like they're like, "Oh yeah, he just had like these little handles that he could hold on to, and they were like with his fingertips." And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's totally just
that's fine."
Because he didn't want big straps and people to see.
I bet Goro wishes he had his hands straight.
Jesus.
And a cup for that.
Those are $500 sunglasses, asshole.
Oh man! Well, welcome to a quick episode of Nostalgia Land. This week we're gonna hopefully, but like maybe it might be shorter than the others. But rather than talk about a movie, we wanted to kind of talk a little bit more about ourselves and kind of get to know who we are behind the mics. Hopefully, if you've been listening or watching now, for this will be the third episode. Hey, I got it right again.
There you
go.
Got
3
nailed it, buddy.
3 fungers. Yeah,
3 fungers.
3 fungers.
You got the 3 fungers.
Oh, damn it. I lose one thing and I gain one.
One step forward, 2 steps back.
Oh. That's the story of my life. That's it. Yeah.
Story of my life. I could go all day.
Really? Yeah. I know. So if you've been watching us, this will be our third time actually going live completely. We got the new the green light going. I think in honor of Trace, you got Ninja Turtles.
I do have a Ninja Turtle.
You got the green cap.
I do. You got to match.
You are
turtles.
Turtles. Oh man, no! I just thought it'd be really interesting. So we've been doing this for a little while now, and I've loved being able to have this and being able to finally put this show together with the dream team of it, because I had this idea for the show back in 2018 actually, and my wife and I were living in a small apartment. We were living in a house up in Atlanta.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, and our lease was going up in 2019, and we decided, okay, we're gonna go on this long road trip. And we had like a new baby. She was 3 months old when we left, and she was 6 months when we got back.
Wow,
she was amazing. Yeah, we went on a road trip from Atlanta. We drove all the way to San Francisco.
Yeah, because you were working like remote at that time. Like you were doing freelance stuff.
Totally, I work remote even now still. So it's actually it's not the same job, but I work remote, and I just figured, okay, we'll just drive. I'll work, you drive, and then we'll stop whatever we want to stop. And so we did that trip, and on the way out there, I was like, man, like whenever we would just get talking, and my wife was just like, you talk a lot about just movies and TV and what's funny is great since starting this show and coming home, she's been like, I'm happy you do that because you don't bring that energy home with you all the time. Just like, I have to talk to you about Mortal Kombat and Page Master. Like, I have to tell you this thing I saw. Like, and she's just like, you don't bring that home anymore. And she's like, that's a great energy that you just kind of leave.
Outlet.
Yeah, you just outlet it out. But so we went on that road trip and we got back and we bought a house, we built it and did this whole thing. And we were sitting around waiting in our apartment. And I was like, I need something. I need to do something with all this information I've been hanging on to. And
I have all these ideas.
We did an episode with my wife, and she was great. She came up with the theme music for our show, which is that, and she did the scream in the middle of that. So if you listen to the whole at the end of the episodes, we usually play it. But yeah, like I found that she hadn't watched a lot of the movies that I watched, or television, but you did. And I know you have.
We watched a lot of them together, probably.
Yeah, we were there. But so in 2019, we recorded our first couple episodes of this, and it went really well. But COVID happened, things kind of died down.
Damn COVID.
Yeah, man, it was a dream killer for a lot of things.
At least you're allowed to say it on the internet now.
Yeah, really, that had happened.
We're not gonna get shadow banned.
One of my favorite Let's Play groups is a group called the Game Grumps, and I'm sure some of our listeners have heard of them, multi-million subscriber count, and they called it the Backstreet Boys reunion tour because they couldn't call it COVID or they couldn't call it the virus. So they'd be like, guys, make sure that you're getting tested for your tickets to the tour. It's so funny. So their shtick was they would do long-term playthroughs, but they would cut it up and they would stream and stuff. But so you'd get this through line. You can tell when they did an episode around 2020, 2021. Yeah. Because they would be like, yeah, maybe when the reunion tour is over, we could.
Macaruba.
Oh my goodness.
So funny.
No, so when we moved back to Miami and I grew up in this town. I wanted my kids to grow up here, and I wanted to be back in this area because I had such a love for what my childhood was, and certainly I owe a lot of that to your house. Okay, yes, and kudos to the environment that was created there, which, to explain to our viewers,
organized chaos.
It was organized chaos, certainly, but there was every toy, every movie, every video game console, every show you could want to watch, and in music was just there because you have two other brothers besides you two.
Correct.
And
an older and a younger.
An older and a younger.
We're
so
the
there's
middle two.
4 boys in one giant house. Yeah. And your parents just had the brilliant idea of just let's just give them a room, and
my parents are brilliant.
Yeah. It's the back room, and we called it the playroom. And there were just couches and chairs and television sets just set up everywhere with all of this stuff. So as a kid, for me, I felt like I wanted to live at your house.
Like going to Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah. Except you didn't have to buy tokens.
No, but it was great because
but you also didn't win prizes.
Right.
It's true. But there were snacks.
Yeah. There were plenty of snacks galore. And we have other friends.
We had kids that would come to the house. There were Trey's. A lot of Trey's friends.
Yeah.
I remember because most of the time I went out with my friends. His friends typically came to us. And there were certain kids that we knew that were going to walk in the house and go right for the snacks.
Yeah.
Because their parents wouldn't let them have snacks.
At least not any good ones.
Just healthy snacks.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's not a healthy snack, Ruben.
One of the kids' dads still sneaks ice cream to this day.
Yeah. We're not going to put them on
blast. We're not putting names out there.
No, don't do that.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Well, I used to go to your house just for Oreos and Cheez-Its.
Yep.
And I can't tell you what time.
Now the dogs get all the Oreos.
Oh, they do? Yeah.
The vanilla.
Not the chocolate ones.
The vanilla, yeah. The golden Oreos, as they're called.
No, but
you know Oreos are vegan? By the way?
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Look it up. They're vegan. 100%.
Okay.
Crazy.
It's all processed cream in the middle. It's just cream, baby.
Well, it can't be cream because that comes from cows. It's like some
fake.
weird,
just sugar?
I don't know what it is.
Free.
Look it up.
Yeah, just look it up.
Look it up.
No, I used to come in. I remember one time, at some point, I guess, someone was like, "Oh, we should eat a little healthier" or something like that, and they got reduced fat Cheez-Its.
That's
my mom.
And I was pissed off about it. I was like, what are these?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, big point of contention in our house is when we went from regular soda to diet soda. We lost some followers there,
we also lost a few hundred pounds between
which is
us.
good.
Oof, we were all chubby kids, I gotta say. So
Some of us never stopped being chubby.
I'm still a chubby kid.
I mean, my house is where I brought people there because Tanner and I were so close together that we would just hang out with each other's friends.
Yeah.
So it's not that big of a deal. And when like when we grew up in youth group and stuff, you were like my age in church, but you weren't my age at school because your birthday's late.
Yeah. So I did another year.
So you held, they held you back in like kindergarten, like super early.
Yeah.
So like it was a good way of having like that outlet. And like I invited friends from school and stuff, and like I had no problem with my friends from school coming over, but it was always just like, I don't know. Sometimes when like they're your teammates and stuff, you're only like, oh, we're going to go and then we're going to go to batting practice for 3 hours and then we'll come back to the house and eat and then leave. But like when you guys came over, it was like, what do you want to do? And I'd be like, nothing. And you guys would be like, dope, I'm going to go to the playroom.
Let's go.
Like I didn't want to, it was just good. And then that like carried into high school when we could all drive.
Yeah.
The true genius of that room being in the back of the house is that it was really hard to wake up my dad.
Mm-hmm.
You could be loud as you wanted to be.
Yeah, and there was, but the one downside of that room for a long time was there was no AC in there.
Air conditioning in Miami-Dade County.
Yeah, and old like tube TVs like we had, they gave off so much heat.
Yeah.
And radiation. Let's talk
No,
about
it's just
that.
because I was in the room.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Tyler.
Hot.
Yeah. That's why we had to have you go to Kevin's.
That's right, I had to
so
leave.
It cooled down a little bit.
I had to
with
leave.
your Jeff Gordon bag or your Dale Earnhardt bag with the
well, both.
both.
Started as Dale Earnhardt.
Depending on how many people you were getting at the Halo LAN party.
It started as Dale Earnhardt, and then that bag fell apart, and I had to go to the Jeff Gordon bag.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
Because I always knew like if I could play Halo 2 because like I had to look in Tyler's
Halo
room.
1.
Well, but Halo 2 I never had a copy of. We had two copies of Halo
Gotcha.
1. But I just people would be like, can we play Halo 2? And I'm like, hang on.
Yeah.
It's like walk to the other side of the house. I'm like, no, the bag's not here. We can't play Halo 2.
I thought there'd be the moments where like you had to like sneak into like brothers' rooms and be
Travis.
like, yeah. Well, it's funny to me like how you
Oh, I
guys
hated it.
are in so many ways so close, but then in other ways it's like don't touch my stuff. Like in that
I get it.
dynamic. Yeah, I get that. Like to have property and like this
Well,
is
when
my
you-
own. Yeah.
So when you're in a house with 4 boys, what's yours becomes very important because everybody wants everybody's stuff.
Yeah.
So even in society now, it's I have my stuff.
yeah.
There's a famous Carlin bit, George Carlin, where he talks about us as an American people. We're all about our stuff, and when we go on vacation, we take some of we have to decide what stuff we're going to take with us, and then you put this. You get there and you put away all your stuff and your stuff and your stuff,
Yeah.
and then this friend invites you to go to this island, so you have to decide out of this stuff. What stuff am I going to take with me to that? You got it's compartmentalizing your stuff all the way down, and then it's true. That's kind of how it is.
Yeah.
But yeah. So with and Trey and Tanner were very close together. Travis and I. Travis is 4 years older. I'm 5 years older than Trey. So I was kind of on an island of my own out there,
Definitely.
doing my own thing.
Yeah.
Well,
Keeping it real,
Travis, when
keeping
it came
safe.
to us, was on an island like of his own.
Yeah, but Travis.
But that's
Just
the
in
thing.
life.
But he always had the stuff that everybody wanted because he was the one that worked at Best Buy. So like, if you
He had
wanted to
all the
watch a
movies,
movie
yeah.
or like if you wanted something new that came out, it was like it's in Travis.
It's in
But I
there
had all the games.
Yeah, but
That
the problem
my
was
thing.
he slept like a vampire. So like,
during the day.
Yeah,
That
you
never
wanna
got
go in
any
there,
blood, so he was
you want to
tired
go in there during the
always.
day, and you're
If
like,
I had to tell you when he slept, I couldn't like he would appear. And then, and it was kind of like a sighting. It was like, I saw Travis today. And like we would all kind of be like, oh, we all saw him.
The
And then
Colonel.
the Colonel. And then he was here. And then he would just be
Shouts to
gone.
Tony on that one.
Dude, I still
So
don't
for-
understand why he calls him the Colonel.
So for the folks at home, we have a friend named Tony who loves to give people nicknames, and not
the
like
best.
yeah, like Trey is a nickname. That's my family nickname, but he loves to give people like they call me Petrie from Land Before Time, the tiny pterodactyl. And how that came about was he started calling me that, and I fell asleep in college one time,
Yeah.
and they were trying to wake me up to go eat.
I was trying to wake him up, screaming at him from 2 feet away from his
Selective
face, and just yell, Trey. And Tony, sitting on the couch, says he's like 7 feet from this guy, and he just goes, Petrie. And Trey shoots up. What's up? What's going on? What are we doing? I'm like, get your ass in the car. We're going to eat.
I was tired a lot in college.
Oh,
I mean,
man, yeah.
This guy worked like he worked his ass off and still had to find time for fun.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, your house. So growing up. So I'm a PK kid. I'm a pastor's kid. My dad was a pastor, and for all the pastor kids out there, it's okay. you can
It gets
go,
better.
It gets better. You can
Your
get
friends are really
therapy.
your friends. It's not just to appease your
Yeah,
father.
It's not at all. No, it's not. I had a great childhood. I don't want to rag on that.
Yeah, your dad's
but it was
awesome.
like it was that your house had everything that like if it was borderline like this
Okay.
might like not okay or like
Yeah,
this
'cause-
was something like the church might or like if someone found like like from church came over and saw like a box set of the Titanic, they'd be like, oh, you're watching that has nudity in it and cigarettes and drawing.
Cigarettes.
It has artwork in it and stuff. What are you doing? Like you can't
They
watch that.
dance in
Yeah.
the We're Baptist.
You just never know. And so we used to hide a lot of stuff in our house from like public viewing.
I saw Predator when I was 5.
yeah.
So
Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
that's kind of how the
That's
doors
funny.
open
That
up.
was your first rated R movie?
Oh man.
I'm sure I saw a lot
My-
of those, but Predator was
My
when I was
first
5
rated
years
R
old.
movie was Terminator 2.
wow.
I mean, classic.
Travis
No
was
wonder we're awesome.
I walked in and Travis was watching it in the playroom, which was like super weird because
That's
he always
public
used to watch
viewing.
movies in his
You
room.
know what he was doing.
No, it's because Aaron and Teddy were there.
He wanted you to watch it, too.
Oh, maybe. But I walk in and I was like, I went in, but that was the only problem with the playroom being the playroom is like we didn't have any of the consoles like in our rooms, or at least not till later in life. And so I would walk in and like if somebody was doing something in there, you're like, crud, man, like I can't
go in there.
I can't just like go and flip on Mario in the background, like do while the Terminator's walking around. And so I walked in and I was like, and my brother's buddy Dax was like, hey, you want to watch this? And Travis like, I remember like his eyes getting wide, like, and he's like, yeah, come on in. And I just remember being like just sitting there in horror in the back, like, why isn't Arnold Schwarzenegger shooting that guy? Why did the milk carton turn red when that guy was in the? Yeah.
T1000, baby.
There's
Yeah,
those
so-
moments, yeah, which we need to talk about. I want to ask you guys some core memories, but like, so yeah, just I mean, that paints a pretty good picture about what your house was for a lot of people. Though it was a place, it was like a haven. It was everyone felt safe, everyone felt included. I want to say
Right.
because like I mean, in I know you're 5 years older than us, but like when we were kids. I thought of you as an older brother too because when I came over, like you never were like, oh, you can't play, like you're not like a part of this or something like that.
No,
Like
you were more Powerbomb material.
yeah, exactly. And then
Let's
we
do
would
this.
wrestle and
do this.
play the like I remember.
Especially if we were going in the pool.
Yeah. And,
It was
and
like, please don't drown.
please don't die, please don't die, please don't die. No,
The
you're okay,
only
you're
thing
okay,
that
you're
sucked-
okay.
The only thing that sucked about going to my parents' pool was the coral rock that's the edges, and it's like don't hit
Yeah.
the edge. Okay, good. Oh god, because if
Yeah.
you touch that edge, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, it's
You're gonna
good.
be cut up and
It's just gonna have
scarred.
no skin.
And our youngest brother would he couldn't swim
Yeah.
when we were real little, and he would go all the way around
His
the
grip
outside
strength
edge
was phenomenal.
insanely fast. I mean, he was there. He was in the action no matter how far into the deep when we were. And he tore the skin off all his fingers
No
and
way.
would be
Gripping the-
bleeding
from,
from
like,
gripping
gripping
the
the
edge
side.
and moving along the edge super fast.
And if you looked at his big toes from where he would plant against the
good
wall, he
my
would like rub
God.
the skin on his big toe.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
talking into the mic,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, let me readjust here. But yeah, he would like, but I mean, kudos to Tanner. He never really like complained about it.
No,
He
he's
just-
one of the toughest. He's one of the toughest kids ever.
They used to have like vivid memories for me where like people like doing wrestling moves to him, like trying to get him to break, and like he wouldn't. And then
No,
like
he wouldn't.
they would leave, and he would be like, "Ow!" And I'm like, dude,
Well, like-
if you say that, they'll stop.
Well, like Tyler in my memory, like was like the referee to be like, no, that's too hard. Like that's too
Well-
rough. That's too rough. That's too rough. And
They
he's
would,
like,
the older ones
break
would
it
always
up.
get in trouble.
Right.
Because,
Yeah, you would-
I have always been
Travis too. Travis.
the father figure.
Oh,
of the-
I thought you meant like.
I have to take care of everybody.
Yeah.
Oh no. The teetotaling, like, don't do that, whatever. My mom even said it, like, back in the day, you thought you were dad. And I'm like, well, Dad was at work. I was just trying to help.
He
Like,
had stuff to do. He's paying for all these video games.
yeah, exactly. Like, you know how many toys he's bought? This is ridiculous. I knew when I was like 6 years old that Santa and Dad had a
Yeah.
relationship.
Well, it's because they're
If,
actually
if
twins.
you're listening, Santa ain't real. But I learned when I was 5 years
Spoilers.
old.
I don't know what this one does, but I hope what it does. Hold on.
It's very funny.
Santa ain't real.
That ain't real. Sorry, it's just how it goes. You know, so and when I was young, I had a bad temper, and I inherited that from my father. And when I would get annoyed, when I would get pissed off, it would come out. And I've worked a whole long time in my life on controlling that anger, controlling that temper, being an even-keeled guy. And most people don't ever know that I would get upset. Trey knows all too well.
Well,
about
I mean,
the
I've lived
temper.
with him through college.
Yeah, right.
Through, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
through really middle school, I was literally grounded every day
Yeah.
in
Well,
seventh grade
but when
from
he
beginning
was,
to end.
But when he was grounded, he could still. So like being grounded in our house wasn't the worst because you could still go in the playroom, unless it got
I couldn't back then.
Unless it got really dirty and my dad locked it.
Oh.
And then you would have to basically go face my father.
You'd be like, "Can you
It's
unlock
like
it?"
no, it's like like when the young samurai gets in trouble and has to go like lay his sword in front of his master, like please help,
Huddy cuddy.
Please let me out. Can I get in there?
Father help, Father help. But and then
glad
he'd
you
be
guys
like,
sent me
he'd be
that
like, "You
video."
gonna clean it?" And he'd be like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Okay, I'm unplugging everything until you clean it." And then he'd have to like go inspect it, and then yeah. But a lot of times that turned into Travis going, "Hey, clean the playroom."
Yeah.
Like now,
Let's go.
And then I would
his
go,
dad's gonna lock
hey,
it.
I'm going to go to Scott and Kevin's. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah. So a lot of times it was me
Because
and Tam.
their house was the same thing.
Same thing, just
it was
big
just a
playroom.
home full of video games, and the parents didn't care
Fish
what
tanks.
we did.
Yeah.
Fish
they
tanks
let us do
everywhere.
whatever.
Man, do you see like there's havens everywhere, and I feel like a lot of people, like especially in the '90s when like everything, like there was the video game craze, and I have to tell and share a core memory that like is definitely a part of like when in the '90s growing up was like, holy cow, this is an amazing like time to be alive. And it was when, and I shared this with you guys earlier, it was like December 1998. I randomly saw in a magazine that at our local mall here, which is in Miami-Dade County, it's called Dadeland Mall. Real creative for the name, but Dadeland Mall. And well, hell, we came up with Nostalgia Land. I don't know, but Dadeland Mall, they had
We
this
learned
thing
from the best.
Yeah.
That's funny.
They had this thing where if you brought your Game Boy with the latest copy of Pokemon, which was Pokemon Yellow, where you could have Pikachu follow you around and stuff like that, they would connect it somehow to like this other dude's Game Boy and give you like Mew and Mewtwo.
It was just Mew.
Yeah, it was outright, and they gave you
you
like
couldn't
a
get it in the
rare.
game.
You couldn't do it. Yeah, exactly. And I remember going to that event. It was like I saw it in the paper, and it was one of the one times where like I remember asking both my dad and my mom. I was like, "Can we go? Can we go? Can we go? Can we go?" And they like all right, fine. Like having no understanding about like what video games like do and what they're about. And so we went, and I got that Mew, and man, I held on to that thing for years.
Still have a copy of that game.
I still do, yeah. I still have my original Game Boy Color, but like I think like for me, like your house had like if there was a toy or something I wanted to or look into a video game or something like that, it was just there.
Check and see if we had it
Yeah.
first.
Oh yeah, it was just there. Like
I mean, after the NES, because I was still very small, very young.
You got a Sega on your own, right?
Yeah.
You like raised money for that.
I don't. It's possible. I don't remember. I just remember that the Sega was mine.
Yeah,
That's what I
like we
remember.
couldn't like. That was the one system that I vividly remember. Like, if there was ever an argument, like I want to play this, and my mom would come in, and like, my mom didn't really care. Like just don't break the
She
controller.
just wanted
'Cause
you to shut
I
up.
don't want to buy another one. I'm not going to Blockbuster for the 5th time this week.
But you got an A on your math
Yeah,
test.
exactly. Yeah, that was my job.
Yeah.
Trey, get A's on your math
We did
test.
that
'cause-
in one of the episodes. You talk to mom, Tanner talked to dad.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
the deal.
Yeah.
we all go to
But
Toys R
dad
Us.
was
Yes.
not. Yeah, dad was like when you had like a birthday or like something like that. Mom was like if you want to go to Blockbuster. So like my
Yeah.
number got called a lot more than Tanner's number got called. Like Tanner's number got called for big things like holidays or birthdays. My number got called for like Friday night.
Yeah.
Like Trey, you're up. But I asked her yesterday. Yeah, and today's a new day.
Yeah, welcome to Friday. Yesterday was Thursday.
But no, but like that system was his. So like my mom would be like, well, it's his. Like if he wants to, he can take it out of the room if he wants. And it was
I
like,
think it's a really important thing that they taught us too was like, ownership over what is yours.
they were
and-
big into asking.
yeah.
Like if somebody asked and you weren't playing with something, they might go behind your back and be like, it's fine, you can do it. But like if he was just being a jerk about it, which didn't happen very often, at least with the Sega.
It's very kind.
So,
we know it's not true. But it's very kind.
like if he wasn't like if he'd left the house, my dad would be like, "Go play."
Yeah.
And just
hurry.
when he gets home, I'll tell you.
And
just
I
turn
was
it
the
off.
jerk that would get home and be pissed off if somebody played my
Yeah,
Sega.
like that's not the game that was in there.
Would you like walk up and feel it's still warm?
I mean,
who
I
did
don't
it?
know.
No,
Looking
he'd
back on
memorize-
it now, it's
he'd
like
memorize like
wow,
what
it
game was in the
such a-
system. So like you had to like change it back, and like the controller had to go in the same spot.
Damn.
It was he was
I
like
have a lot of attention to
Rain
detail.
Man.
That's why I do so much research.
That's why you do the research. That's why I love having you on the show. I mean, and that's why I feel like the show for me works so much better now is in having you, because when I thought about who can I bring into this, and I was like, and I thought about all of you. I thought about you, Tanner, and even Travis, and be like, who's going to know the most about this information? Who's going to bring the most to the table? And I was so excited to like finally be back in the city and have you guys like available for this.
It's a
like,
resource.
Selfishly, yeah, for me to be like,
Travis would be
yeah.
great, but he no longer lives in Miami. He's Tennessee.
up in Tennessee, yeah.
And then Tanner, I mean,
He's got his own
if,
thing.
if you think that we're funny at times, Tanner has a gift. He
Tanner's
has the
comedic
chunk.
timing is
Yes.
just phenomenal.
Yes, he is so funny.
Yeah. And he's quick. Like he's very quick witted.
I mean, I've never seen anybody come with gifts. Like, good God. Trey's gift game is very
the
good.
perfect example is
Tanner's gift game is on point.
yeah, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
We're big
Yeah.
Florida State football fans because that's where we went to college. All three of us went to college there.
Together.
Yeah, for a year we were all there at the same time.
Went to college for 25 years.
They're called doctors.
I get paid like one.
So we were sending stuff back and forth for the Florida State game, and a lot of it is just a lot of like yes or let's go, and then Tanner will have like a meme where like let me see if I can pull up like an example.
Just have a perfect
It's just
his timing, like you said, his timing is
and
brilliant.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's his timing is just brilliant.
It's such a shame because I think he's expressed he's like, I don't want to be on your show. I'm just like, okay, that's
Really?
fine. I'm gonna respect that.
Okay, so we've talked about this together as a cast as a podcast. I think the three of us make this show what it is. I've had friends that are, oh man, I should get on there and talk about this, and I don't think so. Like this is kind of like it's the three of us doing our thing. If Tanner said, "Hey, I want to," yep. All right, we'll get it together. We'll get on here and
But it's going to be like
his
his choice of topic. Like he'd probably be very specific about what he wanted
whatever
to do.
he wanted to do. He's the one person that I would be like, yeah, let's do it. You know, I'd be down with that.
The perfect example is it's a lot of like let's go text, things like that. I send like a gif of their pregame tradition, which is where Osceola drives the spear into the ground. Tanner sends a gif from the Golden Girls with one of the ladies just going, "That was good."
That was good. He's so funny, man.
Oh my gosh! No, so to bring it back to that point, I would love to know, and I think some of our viewers would love to know. Well, like for you, what are some like for both of you? What are some core memory like movies or television shows, things that like has such an impact on you growing up that like you couldn't wait to talk about them now, because like that is for me the drive of the show. There's so many things from my childhood that I love.
I think for me, the biggest thing about movies and TV shows during that time period when we were growing up together was the strange connection that we all had from Billy Madison, from Austin Powers, from these movies where 5, 6, 7 of us could sit down in a room together.
Yeah.
And one person would quote the movie, and here it comes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was an avalanche of quotes.
Yeah.
And just 5 or 6 or 7 guys cracking up laughing to the point where my mother still to this day says they would speak in movie quotes. And one of my best friends in the whole world, Aaron, we would get together after Austin Powers came out, and we could start at the beginning of that movie and not stop until the movie ended.
Wow.
Quoting it back and forth, making everybody around us crack up laughing. And it's just, that's the kind of connection that it forms.
Travis was a big that's like Travis's humor. It's like his movie line.
He's a huge movie buff.
It's crazy.
Way more than the rest of us.
He's watched probably more movies than I could name. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. He's got Black Binder on Black Binder and Black Binder because he was the DVD era. He was before streaming.
Well, and he worked at Best Buy, so like,
right, he got all the stuff
you can get
discounted.
like 6 for a nickel.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
And he would always try to buy like these 4 DVDs in a box set. Like, so he'd spend like $5 and get like 8 movies.
Yeah.
It was crazy. No, a lot of core memories for me is around like video game stuff. Like I remember like vividly when we got our N64. Like that was like a big thing for me because I was like smack dab middle of the 90s. I was in elementary school. Then I remember Tanner winning a PlayStation 2 in a Radio Disney contest.
That is the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah. So talk about nostalgia land. There used to be an FM radio station called Radio Disney, and we didn't listen to it like ever. But my dad was doing Christmas shopping in Macy's because my dad would do his Christmas shopping like around Labor Day, like to get things that he knew were like that we would want. Like he'd hear us talk about it. My dad was very good at listening.
And I swear, all you would ever hear in our house, Christmas is coming.
Yeah. Like from like
it would be January 1st. Christmas is coming.
I
my birthday's in February. Christmas is coming.
On the way.
No, but in all honesty, like after June 11th, which is Tanner's birthday, who has the latest. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw your business out there. He has the latest birthday in the year.
Always
yeah, that's true. He has the latest. So after June, he has the latest birthday in the year. That's when you would start to hear it. Like, oh, I need a new pair of shoes. Okay.
Yeah.
What about for Christmas?
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
Christmas is coming.
And so then, like, I remember my dad was doing Christmas, and in Macy's they had like this thing, like, win a PS2, and he said
the first prize was
moped.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I remember it wasn't the first prize.
I remember, and I got called dumb by like a lot of people, but I was like, I'm glad you came in second.
Hell yes. Hell yes.
But Tanner was like, they would have got it for us anyway.
You know why? We already had a go-kart.
Yeah. That was like
that go-kart was
into
sweet.
the ground.
We had the craziest go-kart I've ever seen.
We drove it into the ground.
Yeah,
like it wouldn't run anymore.
It was a prototype that a guy had built, and it wasn't a steering wheel. It was a steering column that came straight up.
Yeah.
And then it teed off and came down in these two
flying
like
an X-wing.
U-bar. Yeah, exactly. and there was gas on one side and brake on the other, and it had these little tiny tires. It wasn't big fat tires.
Yes, I remember
and
this.
We had a tennis court that when
Tokyo
we moved
Drift.
into the house was already in a rough state.
State of decline.
It was already on the downslope, and we never resurfaced it or anything like that. It just became a hockey rink and a go-kart track. And we would be out there flying around this thing. And when you don't treat a tennis court well, and it rains a lot, like it does in Miami, you get algae that builds up on top. And this thing would do donuts for days. Even when you're trying to go straight, you're like, I'm doing a donut now.
I guess this is me now.
ridiculous.
Yeah, so like as the third younger brother, Tyler's friends liked hockey. So it was like,
Oh, man, we
we need a
loved
goalie. And it's like, oh, Trey, you have catcher's gear. Go play goalie.
Hey, watch out for this slap shot
Yeah.
coming 150 miles an hour.
Yeah, so
comes a knuckle puck.
I'd have coaches like, "What? You're not like scared of the ball behind the plate?" I'm like, "No,
No, I got older brothers.
Hey, I'll give it to you guys. All of us brothers, we were tough as hell. I played catcher when I was a kid. Never, nope, didn't bother me.
that's fine.
Didn't
Yep.
bother me.
Nope.
no."
And Tanner took a ball to the face
In the eye
when he was
Tanner took a ball in the
batting.
eye.
and
Walked it
once,
off.
just
Finished
got
the
right
game.
back in there, like tough as nails.
Yeah.
Tough as
Yeah.
nails.
His eye was like
Yeah.
black instantly. I was like, eh. Now looking back with like my medical knowledge, I probably should have gotten an X-ray.
I got a bump on my head.
Yeah, help!
That's me now. I got a hangnail.
Yeah, help!
Trey, fix it.
What do I do? Oh, I'm texting you all the time with my kids stuff, and I'm like, Trey, how severe does it have to be before I take them somewhere?
104.
Your kids are so smart, though. When we saw them over the weekend, I hadn't seen them in a while.
Yeah.
And I walked in the door. The dogs barked, of course, and turned the corner, and Cora's looking at me.
Yeah.
And she says, Tyler? I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. And she's like, are you Tyler?
Yeah. She's
Yes.
putting it together.
You're making me uncomfortable.
She grabbed a
Are
little.
you like an inquisitor? Or you
she grabbed a little lamp and like put it in your face.
What are you doing
puts a
here?
cigarette out on my arm. She doesn't even smoke.
She grabbed her iPhone. She grabbed an iPhone and flicked on the flashlight.
That's right.
Held it up
That's
to
right.
her.
It's the other one you got to be afraid of.
That's what I've heard. That she's the one that's
She's like the
even,
spider monkey.
Yeah, but they're awesome. They're
And we go to
super
dinner
cute.
and like I'm like, how are you on my back?
Yeah. No. Yeah. They climb.
My ZD's here. Can I eat my food?
No, you can't.
My
No,
mom went in the
kid-
pool with them while you guys were busy doing some stuff, and she was like, "Ty, you want to come in the pool?" I said, "I don't have a bathing suit here." She's like, "Trace," I said, "Mom, have you seen us? I don't fit in Trey's bathing
funny.
suits."
Yeah.
You're out of luck.
Yeah, like no.
I'm sorry. That's like one rule I do with my kids is I don't often get in the pool with them because that's just like that is the murder zone.
Yeah.
that is where you
It's
go
like
to
being in the
die.
pool. It's like being in the pool at camp and like you throw that first kid.
Dude,
Yeah.
And
Grease the Pig.
no,
Grease.
not even that. Like yeah, that game.
I have never seen more violent interactions that weren't fights in my whole life.
Dizzy
Oh,
Bat
God.
trash can was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Those were incidental. These were men wrestling.
That's true.
I mean, seniors in high school, star football athletes.
Little background for the
Yes.
folks at home. Grease Pig is a game with the same premise as Steal the Bacon, where your job is to get the object of importance back to your side.
But we did it in the pool.
We do it in the pool with a watermelon covered in Crisco. So you jump in to grab a watermelon, and if you're the first one to it, you're not getting it.
Dude,
Yeah.
the funniest thing is people like jump in and grab it, and that watermelon go.
Or the worst is when it would go down
Oh, yeah.
because then you had to worry about I want to get it, but you also had to worry about this thing's going to come out of the water and smack me in the mouth.
It's gonna skyrocket out.
That was my strategy though. That was I learned that like second year at camp. I was like, oh, just get to it and then push it down and behind you.
Well, yeah, but
And
you
it's
were-
like halfway to the wall.
Yeah, but compared to the rest of us, you were like a man amongst boys.
Oh well, yeah. I had a really
Matt
big
was
growth
6 feet
spurt.
tall in like the
Yeah,
fourth grade.
I was. Yeah. It's really awkward when you go back and you see pictures of me as a kid, like next to my
Why is
fifth
that
grade
grown
teacher.
man with those
Yeah.
children?
Yeah, yeah. Like my
Why does
fifth grade
that child
teacher.
look really tired? Why a tall, tired child?
I came up. My fifth grade teacher came up to here.
Yeah.
In fact,
Oh
there's
my
a photo
gosh.
of her
It's
standing
crazy.
on a chair next to me, like
Yeah.
hunched over, like to be like, "Hey," and I'm like, "I'm awkward." Hi.
It's so funny. Like my dad one time was like, you got dealt a bad genetic hand. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you're the only one of your brothers that's under 6 feet tall, and you were the only one that played a college sport.
Is Tanner 6 foot?
Just
Just
yeah, I'm 5'10" and he's 6 feet.
in the right shoes.
I mean, it's just all the freaking talent.
Yeah, but I'd rather have Travis's height. Travis is 6'4".
Dude, I'd rather not.
Big dude.
Be goofy like that.
I want his
I'm
knees.
chilling, bro.
I want his knees. My knees don't work.
Okay, yeah. That's
Sorry.
true.
So 6'3", the cutoff, and then 6'4" is goofy.
No, just my brother is. Never mind. He's just goofy.
Just coordination wise.
yeah,
I
he's
guess.
not. He's not like super coordinated. I mean, I'm 6'2".
He's not like he's not like
almost
uncoordinated.
300 pounds.
Yeah.
and I can do a cartwheel.
Ah, okay.
Like
No, I
still
don't
to
think I
this
can do
day
it.
at almost 40 years old. I remember being a senior in high school, and we there was a class called Omega Singers, and it was such an easy A because my older brother had done it.
Yeah.
And it was like the top chorus. My two young brothers followed in our footsteps and did it together. But my buddy Aaron that I was talking about was a football player.
Yeah.
And we had to do these musicals for these competitions, and ours was Les Mis, and it was just movement. It was just
Ooh, okay.
movement, really,
All
like
right.
walking from here to there and the set pieces and stuff. But we had to go to the dance room to do it, and they were talking crap to each other. And I said, they were talking about cartwheels, and I said, I can do a cartwheel. They were like, you can't do a cartwheel. At that time, I'm 250. I said,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I can do a cartwheel.
Yeah.
And boom, perfect. Legs straight out, arms straight out. And Aaron turns to me, he's like, why the hell didn't you play football? I said, I was always a baseball player.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I never wanted to do 2 days.
Oh,
2
2
days
days.
rough.
God.
Yeah. But now,
Maybe we should have
looking
played some
back,
football.
I should have played football.
But by the way, stay tuned for that Tyler cartwheel. We're going to film that in some streaming. That's going to put that back up
That's
there.
going to be for our members on YouTube.
I'm gonna keep saying that until one day I go to do it, my wrist breaks.
Whole shoulder comes out of place.
I'm like, Trey, I need to
not
see
only, not only will it be a
now.
Tyler cartwheel, you'll get to see my
Trey's surgery abilities.
my diagnostic skills in practice.
Yes,
I'm going to order an X-ray and I'll walk you through the read.
Trey's gonna come over and say, yes, you are fucked.
Oh, it's not supposed to bend that way.
Yeah. No, that's why I keep you on speed dial. You're on my favorites practice.
Get
Just
bag
be like, what
eyes.
happened?
Get bag eyes.
Yeah, no, but
No, but there's a lot of stuff. Like I remember, like being at our house until crazy hours in the morning.
yeah.
Like when we would come home for winter break, playing Guitar Hero 2 on
And I
PlayStation
still wouldn't be
2.
there.
Yeah.
Till like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning. I remember one.
I remember falling asleep and walking back in there like, how much time are you guys? I got practice in the morning.
You guys gonna go home?
You guys gonna sleep here?
I was like,
By the way, I need you to leave right now.
My mom is getting scared.
My dad said that he woke up and you're still here. It's time to go.
I do remember a couple times in high school or in that first year of college where like I heard your dad wake up and I went, oh no, I need to be out of here right now.
It's not that we woke him up; it's that he was waking up for the day.
Right, exactly. Yeah, no, he was getting up for the day for work and everything, and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm here too long." No, I was like, if there was
At
one
that point,
moment-
it's better just to be like one of the toys from Toy Story and just go lay up.
What? No, I'm sleeping.
Andy's coming.
Oh my god, yeah. No, I remember there's a lot of a lot of meetings. A lot of meetings. I remember when we were kids. For some reason, I was obsessed with it. The movie Hocus Pocus was on, and we would put that on. Like I'd come over and I'd stay over your house, and we would put Hocus Pocus on. This was back when there was like two in the playroom. It was a big square rectangular room, anyways, like as rooms are.
And these were on the back wall because that was before we had the Murphy bed.
Exactly. And it was on the back wall, and it was the TV, and we would put in Hocus Pocus. We'd hang out, play video games. It would just be on in the background. And then, like, I remember falling asleep at some point, waking up, seeing that it was, like, on the end credits, and I would just pop it back in, hit rewind,
Yep.
and then go right back to sleep. Yeah. That movie has a special place for that.
Still to this day, living in my own home by myself, have my iPad going while I'm playing video games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it started off like because when you didn't have online video games, like Player 2 needed something to do while they were waiting around.
Yeah.
Or if you're in there by yourself.
That's true, and you just want the
I have
ambient.
never watched more late night television. Conan O'Brien and me, we're best buds. Because
in the year 2000.
when I was in
so-
middle school and like it was, you couldn't stay out all night or whatever, I would watch. In the year 2000.
Yeah, I remember that. That was I remember we had rented the Athens
Oh my goodness!
like PS2 video game
when they were in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then that's the first time I met Billy.
Nah, you'd met Billy before that, but
No,
that was
I was in fifth grade.
That was the first time you'd spent.
That's the first time I'd hung out with Billy, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. And we were playing this game and
That's when I was hanging out at the house all the time with my friends.
yeah.
Oh.
And we were watching Conan O'Brien and they were doing the in the year 2000 and like it was like I missed an entire like event in the game we were playing because I was laughing so hard I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
Like
Him and Andy Richter.
yeah, so funny.
Classic.
Yeah.
The
Conan.
best Conan moment, I'll never forget it. It was Andy and he was out doing like field interviews and they were in Dallas, I think it was, and he asked this guy, like, do you know who Conan O'Brien is? He's like, no, boy. And he's like, what's your name? And he said, Buffalo. it was like, I don't know, but if you look it up, you can find it on YouTube, I'm sure, but it was so funny. This interaction with Buffalo and Andy Richter about the Conan O'Brien show. And then they brought in the cowardly, not courage,
Courage, the
It's,
insult comic.
the
Yeah.
insult comic doc.
Yeah.
For me to poop on.
Yeah, no,
And
it wasn't courage.
No, that's why it was.
What was his
God.
name?
Yeah, that's gonna hurt me. Courage the Cowardly Dog was on.
It was the show on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, on Cartoon Network.
Nickelodeon
It was.
first, right?
Was it Nickelodeon first? Or that was Cartoon Network.
Oh no, you could be right. Yep.
No, and then God, what was the insult comic dog? Yeah, for me to put
Triumph.
Triumph. Yeah, Triumph. The insult
'cause he was
comedy.
in
There's a
an Eminem
really
song.
hysterical episode with Triumph where he goes on and on. Oh, that was beautiful. I loved your performance. I can't remember the actor or the actress, but he goes on for like 2 solid minutes telling this person how awesome they are, and at the very end he goes, "For me to poop on," and the face that came over this actor's face was like,
Funny.
"Oh my
God,
god,
dude.
so devastating."
I remember when you moved houses back into the duplex and you got a trampoline. I remember
Oh
that.
yeah. No, we didn't get a trampoline. We just inherited one from the other people.
from the
who
people
were
that owned
still
it before.
living there.
Yeah.
They were like,
So I
"Try
was
not
like,
to die."
I got a trampoline.
And that's when Jackass came out.
Yeah. Oh man,
Hi, I'm
Jackass
Johnny
was like a
Knoxville,
cultural.
Welcome to
Jackass.
Jackass.
Yeah. Culture. It was a cultural revolution in our house, and it was funny. It was and I think this might be the first time it's ever being admitted on air or at least in recording. But like,
Oh snap!
that was one of my dad's like hidden
pleasures?
Guilty pleasures.
Dude, it's
That's awesome. I
we-
could totally see him doing that.
Oh, we watched and we looked forward to watching Jackass, and then we went and saw the movie.
Yep.
And we were like, we went like on a Tuesday night.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, like the
midnight.
like the latest showing on a Tuesday night.
Didn't want to run into anybody.
No one's gonna be from the church book club or anything like that. And so we went.
Yeah, the book club. It's
Yeah.
called the Bible.
Yeah.
They went to the theater in
It's called
Homestead.
Bible study.
They drove all the way down to Homestead together.
So we went and we came back, and there was a
we're
note.
going to Disney this weekend.
Oh my
Why?
God.
So I can see Jackass.
Yes.
Meow, 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 meow.
We got home and there was a note on our door.
Of course there was.
And they were like, "Hey, I can't believe I saw you tonight walking into." Yeah, it was that. It was. I can't believe I saw you tonight walking into that
Okay.
movie. Luckily, though, it was a joke from our youth pastor being like, "I can't."
Ryan Kuba?
Like,
Dan
no, I don't
Smith.
remember. But I was like, it's like they were like, "I can't believe you didn't invite me." And so they were like,
that's
and they
really
go
funny.
along with them. And so I was like, yeah. So Jackass is funny and on universal levels. I wouldn't judge you if you watch it or if you don't watch it. It's
I mean,
fun.
it wasn't like it was just guys getting the crap kicked out of them.
Yeah, the
is what
first
it
one
was.
for early episodes were pretty tame, and
And, like,
then oh man, when we
favorite-
got to like movie
Favorite
2 and
Jackass
3.
moment.
Oh,
My favorite Jackass moment? Oh god, it was probably like Steve-O doing all this stupid stuff, like when he swallowed the goldfish, and then when
It's
he,
crazy to see him on his own like podcast and like super all
he's
cleaned
doing
up.
great. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
all cleaned up and everything. But yeah,
I
that
love
was
that
that
story.
one. Yeah.
Have you seen the one, the Instagram story where he talks about his nose?
No.
So when he was doing, I think it was Jackass 3,
I don't know.
he walked right into a straight right hand from Bam Margera in like
Yeah,
a boxing
yeah.
glove, and it broke his nose, and it was super crooked. And then he went, he was doing the roast of somebody. It was I can't
Wasn't it
remember.
Mike Tyson? And then he had him.
no,
Well,
Mike Tyson was a
there.
guest on the
Okay,
roast.
yeah.
And he was there. They were there roasting somebody else, and he said to Mike, "Hold your fist out. I'm going to run into it." And at the last second, Tyson leaned in a little bit, and it broke his nose again. And he said that a guy in the audience started screaming, "You gotta set it! You gotta set it!" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "No. I'm a jiu-jitsu like black belt or like I'm a jiu-jitsu master or taekwondo master.
Yeah.
I've seen this many times before. You have to set it or it's going to heal like that and it's going to be crooked." And he said, "Let me help you. Let me help you." Okay, fine. So the guy comes on stage, grabs a hold of his face, and he's like, "Okay, you ready? This is going to hurt." And snaps his nose. And he has pictures like front on, and the nose is super hooked. And then after the thing, it's perfectly straight. And he goes,
Wow,
"I got a
dude.
free nose job from Mike Tyson and a Taekwondo master." It's
That's
such
not
an
how it
awesome
sounded.
story.
That's exactly
It
where
sounded
those
like,
nose
I got a free
jobs-
nose job
Yeah,
from
no.
Mike Tyson and a Taekwondo master.
I tried after my data experience in the
dude.
Goonies episode. I try not to do voices anymore. Unless it's the pitch
We
to
were,
pill.
we were sitting there.
$50
and the-
bill.
we were,
$50 bill.
we were sitting there, and the Taekwondo master just broke my face, man.
You need to just real quick, and I think we should wrap pretty soon. But like, can you do your Winnie the Pooh again? That was ridiculous.
Yeah,
take
Winnie-
a moment, and then give me that Winnie the
Have
Pooh.
any water left?
Yeah, no, hold on. We're gonna pause for this, but yeah, Jackass was definitely an era in the '90s, and it was so crazy that there was just these times in the late '90s or early 2000s where they were just like anything goes on television, and like they were just making stuff up, and it was just crazy what actually got produced, and then set the stage for all these other things. So
Yeah.
that to me was pretty huge. in terms of like content as it grew and grew and grew, and now to what it is today, which is, you know, pretty insane. But like, yeah, definitely like the people who like broke those barriers of like what's okay to put on television.
Yeah.
Is so good. Okay, so you ready? You feel good? you want to take a
Dance
moment?
monkey.
Yeah, do it.
Kind of
Do it. Do
Dance,
it.
magic dance.
I might be convinced to do it for a smackerel of honey.
I've known you 34 years, 33 years now, and I had no idea you
Yeah,
could do
there
Winnie
it
the
is.
Pooh. Oh my God, Jim
He
Cummings
does voices.
He does voices.
Yes.
Jim Cummings. You got him running through your money.
Nancy and I.
Oh my God.
Still looking for the other half of my head.
Oh man. Anything else you guys want to share or bust out before we close out or anything? Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, yeah, I mean, a lot of my, memories. It's good that it happened at my house because it makes it easier to remember. I guess.
Yeah. Your house just being that central place was. I mean, yeah.
It was
I
just
think.
like a big yard. And you had a lot of room, and like,
Yeah.
if we broke stuff in there, my dad was like, "Well, your fault." Like, shouldn't
Clean
have
it
done
up.
that.
Clean it up. Yeah. Just get
Well,
it
our
like-
parents were just so cool. With
Yeah.
letting us all hang out there and basically letting the whole world show up.
I think their,
man.
I think their thought process was, at least if they're hanging out here, we know where they are
Absolutely.
because it's 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Do you know where you're? Yeah, they're in the playroom. I can hear them.
Laughing about something stupid and watching the Goonies.
Matt has been bitching about the half-calorie Cheetos for like 45 minutes. What was it? Cheez-Its.
They don't taste the same.
The funniest part was this weekend when we were together at Mom and Dad's. I was eating. I went into the thing and got Ritz crackers, and I
yeah.
start eating Ritz
Whole
crackers
wheat
and
Ritz
peanut butter. I'm like,
crackers.
who the hell gets whole wheat Ritz
Yeah.
crackers?
Bitch to me about that. You were like, what is this?
What is this crap?
Just threw it to the dog.
Yeah.
I did. I mean,
Oh,
but
God.
Shadow deserves what Shadow wants.
Yeah,
He
Ritz
is a
crackers.
good boy.
That's a good dog. Yeah,
No,
you're
my
right.
favorite Jackass moment might be Johnny Knoxville getting knocked out by Butterbean.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
I'm Butterbean.
Yeah. Oof. And he just takes him out in the middle of a store, like it's an antique store or something.
And
wasn't
like it was a jewelry store, and he was out cold. Like
Yeah.
he was out before he hit the ground.
it? Yeah. No
And then,
idea who he
and
was.
then he comes to in the van. He's like, "Did I win?"
My favorite moment is the giant hand.
Oh
Yes.
Yeah.
Or the rocket. The rocket's good too.
Was it Bam that just gets
Absolutely annihilated.
completely like just he comes in the room and just gets taken completely off
Yeah.
his feet?
I think it's Steve-O that hits him with it.
No,
dude.
it's all Johnny
It's
behind
all
the
Johnny
hands.
Johnny,
But
yeah.
my favorite, that's one of my favorite segments too, is the one they give this guy a tray of soup. Like a full tray of soup, and they're in the parking lot. They're just like, "Oh, hey, welcome to work. Hold this," and then just take it in the kitchen. Don't worry about it. I would never sleep in like next to those guys. And, like what? Like how stupid do you have to be be like, "Oh yeah, a whole tray of soup," and I'm surrounded by the Jackass crew. What's going to
Yeah, it
happen?
doesn't make
you know?
sense.
Yeah, no.
Something you may not have known. Travis actually hung out with Chris Pontius and Steve-O.
He met all of them. He met Johnny. So
Dax, one of my
yeah.
brother's friends, Dax, I think it's his uncle, maybe a family
His
friend
blood
that they
uncle, I
call. Okay, was Manny, the
shark.
shark?
Yeah, the shark guy.
Puig,
Yeah.
Manny Puig. That's right, Manny
Straight
Puig.
here from down in South Florida.
And
so.
one of the funniest moments I'll never forget from my parents' house. My dad has a very dry sense of humor,
Yeah.
and my brother comes walking in wearing camouflage head to toe because apparently when you hung out with Manny Puig,
Yeah.
that was like a necessity.
Yeah.
He wore he wanted everyone wearing camouflage. Travis had a camouflage visor, camouflage shirt, camouflage pants, and he says, "Hey, Dad," and my dad doesn't respond. It's, "Hey, Dad," and my dad doesn't respond, and then he says, "Dad," and I'm like, "Dad," and he looks over. And he goes, "Hey, check it out. I was with the Wild
So-and-so.
Boys today."
Nah.
With Manny, yeah.
And he's looking through, and it's pictures of my brother wrestling alligators.
What?
With like the alligator's mouth up under his chin, what the alligator wrestlers do. And my dad's like, "Oh, that's great, cool." And he's "Oh, cool." He walks out of the room, and my dad slowly looks over at me and says, "Couldn't even see him." It was just one of those moments
Yeah.
between me and him that were so perfect. I was like, oh man, this is where we all get it from.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's where it
Classic.
goes from. Man, I got to end on that one. That was a good story. That was good. So, oh man. So again, thank you all for listening and watching and hanging out with us.
I hope you enjoyed
nerds.
learning a little bit about us.
Yeah, yeah, and I really want you guys to know, who we are and who these people are. To me, especially because they're that house. These people are so special, and I'm so just thrilled and blessed to have them and be able to do this show.
I mean, here we are
and make
20
this
years
with you.
later and
God, yeah.
still friends.
Yeah, I think so. We're still friends. Yeah,
I think so.
pretty sure. No. I mean, we have a lot of memories together.
I look
but,
forward to getting
friends.
together and doing this. So
This
yeah,
is
we're
perfect,
definitely
yeah.
friends.
So again, check us out online. We're on nostalgialand.podcast on Instagram. We have the website up and the store is going. It's nostalgialandpodcast.com. No dot.
No dot.
nostalgialandpodcast.com. We're on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, Google Music. Google Podcasts.
Check us out on Spotify.
Yeah,
Definitely.
check us out on Spotify. Definitely
Subscribe,
and the
like,
YouTube.
5 stars. 5 stars if you enjoy it.
Yeah,
I really have to say, Matt has put in a ton of work, and it really shows.
Thanks, man.
We wouldn't be here
Our
without
third
him.
soundboard.
yeah. We're on soundboard number 3. We broke the other 2, so that's good.
It's so crazy.
But yeah, man, thanks again for listening. Thanks for watching. And until next time, I'm
Yeah.
Matt.
I'm Trey.
I'm Tyler.
Take it easy.
Cowabunga.